Before we get into the video, huge shout out to @MikeWill87 on Twitter for this beast fucking layout for this WWE 2016 draft review. Was the WWE draft tonight on SmackDown Live a huge success, or was it a fucking failure? I'll give you guys one clue. JD was right. Let's talk about it. You know, what makes this night so satisfying to me is the fact that I've been saying this for at least 5 months now. I've been saying this for 5 months now, that the WWE holding a draft is going to pretty much cripple the entire product. And I have to sit here in the condition that I'm in. I feel like I'm getting worse from earlier's video today. And I've been doing literally everything that I possibly can to make myself feel better. I sound like shit. But I don't give a shit. I'm bringing you guys a draft, overview, review, my thoughts on this fucking piece of shit that we seen tonight. I told you the WWE would fuck this up. And immediately, right out of the gate, and I'm going to give them a week. I'm going to give them a week. This show felt like a normal fucking SmackDown. There was nothing different about this show. There was nothing that made you think that they are ushering in a new era. Absolutely nothing. No set. We had a 4-man fucking announce team with Byron Saxton, Mauro Ranallo, Michael Cole, and Jerry the King Lawler. WWE went all out to just cram everything that they possibly could into 2 hours and still make it feel like a generic SmackDown show that we've been seeing on Thursday nights. Except this was with a more lively crowd as compared to Monday Night Raw, and it was live. So right then and there, I'm giving them 1 week. I'm giving them 1 week to get me a new set, to get me a different feel, and to get Michael Cole off of fucking Tuesday nights. Because there's no reason why he and Byron Saxton should have been there. And we're going to go over the draft picks, as well as the results of these fucking matches that didn't even need to take place tonight. I don't understand WWE's logic going into all this. The one thing that stood out like a fucking sore thumb throughout this entire show is that WWE looks more unorganized than they've ever been in their entire fucking history. They have no fucking idea what they are doing. I guarantee you there will be reports coming out about this draft that they were fucking running around with their heads cut off, just trying to get things the way that they were tonight until the very last minute. I guarantee you there will be reports coming out saying that they worked at least right up until mid-show to try and get this draft completed. Nothing about this draft and nothing about this show reeked of, you know what, we have a solid plan, here you go. WWE is so fucked in the head, and it pisses me off as a fan, and people want to know why I bitch and why I moan. Picture you working for a high-end fucking corporate firm, and you're sitting down in a boardroom. Are you going to go in there with fucking absolutely nothing to show your boss that you worked on for your presentation that morning? You're going to come in there half-assed, half of it being done? Or are you going to go in there and pretty much leave everybody fucking speechless with a presentation that's going to knock everybody's socks off, that's going to get you a promotion? Which one is WWE, folks? It's the fucking goon. Hello, Vince. Here's my draft. Give me a fucking break. Even sick, I'm gonna sit here and fucking rant and bitch and moan about what we seen tonight. Unorganized. 2 hours of unorganized fucking garbage. There's no reason why this show needed to take place on SmackDown. None. None whatsoever. You want to re-debut SmackDown as live? You want to go SmackDown Live, right? You should have did a fucking generic SmackDown show, ushering in a new era with a new set, a new fucking commentary team, and that's it. That's it. But no, you gotta rush. You gotta rush with everything. Let's have the draft on SmackDown. Let's have this on SmackDown. Let's cram Raw and SmackDown into Tuesday night's live show and make it feel so big and so huge that everybody's gonna watch and everybody's gonna be hyped. No. They crammed Raw and SmackDown into a 2-hour fucking show. Meanwhile, you have a fucking network in which this entire draft should have taken place on. The draft should have been taking place on the WWE Network. Why are we paying for the network if you're not going to give us things like this? Why is there even a WWE draft happening on SmackDown? Why is it happening before Battleground? Why is it not happening before SummerSlam? I don't understand any of this shit that WWE has presented us in the last month and a half to 2 months getting us ready for this draft. I just don't understand it. I don't understand any of what happened tonight. Everything felt fucking last minute. And if you do not feel that way, you are the people that fucked this product up. You're the reason this product is in the fucking condition that it's in. You're the fucking people going on social media. Did you enjoy the WWE draft? Yes. It was great. The draft was great. Come on, man. What was great about this draft? Everything that I've been proclaiming for the last 4 fucking months just stared you right in the face, and it fucking laughed. And if I could laugh my $1 million Ted DiBiase way that I usually do, I would fucking do it, but I can't do it right now. It stared you right in the face, and all it said was JD was right. I don't give a shit if you're a fucking company insider, if you're working in the fucking business or the industry. This draft was a fucking joke. The presentation was a fucking joke. The fact that they crammed everything they possibly could into 2 hours on top of giving you a fucking SmackDown show that felt rushed was a joke. It was a fucking joke. This is how WWE handles the 2016 draft. What happens when you watch an MLB draft, or the NBA draft, or the fucking NFL draft? You're there literally all day long on ESPN or fucking Fox Sports or some type of fucking sports network, and you're there monitoring each fucking round of draft picks. The draft for all those organizations aren't done in 2 fucking hours. I'll tell you that. 2 hours, everything was done. And then they go to the WWE Network and give you another half an hour, and then the other half an hour that comprised the 1 hour was nothing but battleground fucking promos. How many times do we have to know that Roman Reigns is going to be in the main event of WWE Battleground fighting for the WWE Championship? I know already. Give me a fucking break. The entire show should have been about the draft. The entire SmackDown should have been draft only. You should have given us 2 to 3 marquee matches that take up at least 45 minutes of on-air time. But no, WWE wants to cram everything into 2 fucking hours. They want to just cram everything into 2 hours and just present everything like they usually do, which is unorganized fucking garbage. I don't know what else to tell you people. I don't know what else to say. I've been right. I've been right many times, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been right every time. But I knew going into this was going to be a fucking mistake. It was going to be a failure, and WWE proved me right once again. They didn't do anything that they should have done with this draft. Nothing. Raw seems heavier with the roster, so be it, because they have 3 hours. SmackDown seems very, very light from what I see right now. I don't know what's happening with the WWE Championship. We'll get into that in a second. But it looks like Monday Night Raw has control of most of the major championships in WWE. And that was my main concern going into the draft. How are you going to separate the championships? And how are you going to distinguish which championships are going to be on each show? They did not even make a fucking note of that to the live audience tonight. We didn't hear anything about what's happening with the women's division. We didn't hear anything about what's happening with the tag team division. We didn't hear anything about either one of those divisions. And that's been my biggest fucking question mark, going into this fucking draft. What is going to happen? Because at the present time, the way you see it right now with the women that are currently used on that roster and the tag teams that are currently used on that roster, you cannot have two championships. It is not going to work. It is not going to work for the WWE, and it's not going to be good for either division at all. So unless they're both going to be going on both shows, if the Women's Championship is going to be floating between Raw and SmackDown, and the Tag Team Championship is going to be floating between Raw and SmackDown, why don't you have that stated on the live show? Why do we have to go into this with a huge question mark? This is the Women's Championship. This is the Tag Team Championship. This is not some fucking Joe Schmo Championship that's held by fucking some basement-dwelling bum. This is the fucking Tag Team Championship of the WWE. This is the Women's Championship that's held by Ric Flair's daughter, a championship that you fucking revitalized and have put so much emphasis on, and we have no fucking questions, we have no answers to the questions that we want answered. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. See, WWE, they're thinking, oh, we're going to make this the biggest, most epic draft ever. No. No. That's not what they had in mind going into this. They want specific names for specific brands, and fuck logic. The women should have been exclusively for one brand. There should have been no women drafted in this fucking draft tonight. Tag teams should have been exclusive to one brand. At least it gets people up off their ass to reach for the controller and watch a show on a Monday or a Tuesday. Because if you enjoy tag team wrestling, you're going to tune into either Raw or SmackDown. If you want to see the women perform, you're going to pick up the controller and make an attempt to watch Raw or SmackDown. That's the way it should have been. It should have been exclusive to either Raw or SmackDown. So tag teams, as far as I'm concerned, tag teams and women should not have even been drafted in this draft. It should have been automatically disclosed before the fucking draft took place when they read the official ruling that tag teams and women were going to go to a respective brand exclusively. Right off the bat, that's what I would have did. That's what I would have did. I can only hope that WWE is going to have floating champions back and forth with the women and the tag team. Because if they add another set of tag team championships and they add another set or another women's championship, it's not going to work out. There is not enough depth on this roster for both divisions. I don't give a shit if you have to fucking dip into NXT, if you have to go dip into Ring of Honor or New Japan or TNA. There's not enough depth. It's not going to work. So that's mistake number one. That's not mistake number one. That's mistake on top of mistake on top of mistake that WWE's made with this draft. Those are just some of the things that I'm thinking about. On top of it being rushed and feeling rushed, and WWE handling the draft in such a piss poor, bland, boring manner. Yeah, you have two fucking podiums for Shane and Bryan, and then Foley and McMahon, right? And Stephanie. There's nothing special about it. If the WWE wanted to handle a draft, they need to start making it feel like a legit fucking draft. Handle it on the WWE Network next time. These drafts having to take place on Raw and SmackDown, it does nothing. It does nothing because WWE, on top of the draft, they gave you matches that meant literally nothing to the Battleground pay-per-view and nothing to this show at all. It's fucking pointless. Absolutely fucking pointless. I knew this draft was going to come out and fail. I knew it was going to be presented in the way that it did. I knew WWE would fuck it up. And I sit here and I tell you, I'm right once again. All my fears came to be tonight. Until we get legit fucking answers about what's happening with the tag team division and the fucking women's division and how they're going to separate the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship. Are those going to be brand exclusive titles for Battleground or for SmackDown and Raw? Because we don't know what's going to happen at Battleground. Zack Ryder could bring the U.S. title to SmackDown, which he was drafted to. And Darren Young can bring the Intercontinental Championship to Raw, which he's drafted to. Because right now, Rusev is drafted to Raw, and you got The Miz drafted to SmackDown. So, unless they're going to be with those same individuals coming out of Battleground, we need to know, are they going to be brand exclusive after Battleground? We need answers to those questions. Certainly do. I want to know what's happening with the championships. Championships make your company. The people holding those championships should be of the most importance to you. None of those individuals were given any straight answers tonight. That's what bothers me. That's what fucking bothers me. On top of that, WWE broke up one team tonight. On top of Kalisto and Sin Cara, which was already announced before this draft took place, they broke up the Wyatt family. Now, one thing I will say about this. I'm glad Eric Rowan is at least with Bray Wyatt. I'm happy for that. I don't think Eric Rowan's going to succeed on his own. I don't think he's going to succeed on his own at all. But the reason why they split Braun Strowman away from the Wyatt family is because Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn are now going to give us something that we do not want to see. And that is creating Braun Strowman into a monster. I don't think Braun Strowman is going to be ready to be on his own. I don't think Braun Strowman should be out of the element of a tag team environment yet. I don't think he should have been taken away from the Wyatt family just yet. So they broke up one team on top of the Lucha Dragons. Every other tag team remained intact, which I am pleasantly surprised about. So that is one positive coming out of this WWE draft. That's one positive. There's not much more else to say about this show. Positive. At all. Now, as far as the draft goes, I'm going to read off because I need to get to sleep. I don't feel good at all. And this fucking shit's pissing me off. As far as the draft goes, they're going to run down each roster individually, starting with Raw. Rollins, Charlotte, Balor, Reigns, Lesnar, The New Day as a trio, Sami Zayn, Sasha Banks, Chris Jericho, Rusev with Lana, Kevin Owens, Enzo and Cass, Big Show. Don't know why they wasted a fucking pick on the Big Show. And Big Show was drafted ahead of names like Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus. Seriously. Big Show was drafted ahead of Cesaro. Keep that in mind. Also, Finn Balor was drafted ahead of Roman Reigns. Keep that in mind for when Roman Reigns comes back off the DL or from his drug violation, for his 30-day violation, his suspension. So what does that mean for Roman Reigns' push? It means Finn Balor is being skyrocketed to the fucking main event on Monday Night Raw. Big Show. Nia Jax goes to Monday Night Raw. Gallows and Anderson split from AJ Styles tonight. But now we have the tease of all teases. Will Gallows and Anderson end up with Finn Balor? And will we finally get the Balor Club? So I was on the fence about this one, and the more I thought about it, the more intrigue comes out of this pick. I am okay with AJ Styles being on his own, because when they collide eventually, which they will at some point, it's going to feel more special. I think Balor with Gallows and Anderson is what they've been teasing all these fucking months, so I think it makes sense. I am okay with that decision, as long as they didn't break Gallows and Anderson away from one another. Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus, Golden Truth, Titus O'Neil, Paige, Jack Swagger, Sin Cara on Monday Night Raw, which I like. I like Sin Cara going to Monday Night Raw. I like Neville going to Monday Night Raw as well. Both men could be utilized greatly in the Cruiserweight division, if indeed the Cruiserweight division is going to be a brand exclusive for Monday Night Raw. That adds more talent to Monday Night Raw's roster, which we don't even know of yet until the Cruiserweight Classic is completed. But Neville and Sin Cara both could be gems in the Cruiserweight division. I like that move for WWE. Darren Young, the Dudleys, which I'm surprised they did not split up the Dudleys. I thought they were definitely going to go with Bully Ray and give Bubba Ray a singles run, but they ended up keeping them together for the time being. Summer Rae, Mark Henry. Don't understand that. I heard Mark Henry is on his last legs for his WWE contract. Big Show, I'm hearing, might retire. Brock Lesnar, they drafted. Chris Jericho, they drafted. Those are 4 part-time guys, if you ask me. 2, especially with Mark Henry and Big Show on the fence about retiring. Chris Jericho has this year remaining. That's it. After 2016, he's going back on the tour or on the road with Fozzy. So he's not going to be on the active Raw roster. Lesnar wrestles 6 times per year, if that. So what kind of picks are those for WWE? To me, those are wasted draft picks. Lesnar should have been a floater. Jericho, I would understand him going to a certain brand. He's going to be on the product for the rest of the year. I'm okay with that. But Mark Henry and Big Show, 2 guys that have teased retirement in the last couple of weeks, months. What kind of picks are those? It's fucking shit picks, if you ask me. Braun Strowman, Bo Dallas, The Shining Stars, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, and Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel for Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a completely waste of a pick. I think Curtis Axel would have benefited to be on SmackDown more than Monday Night Raw. Now, going over to SmackDown, SmackDown looks very light compared to Monday Night Raw. I know it was going to be coming out of this because Raw is the 3-hour show, but SmackDown, I don't know what's going on with SmackDown. Raw has already announced they're going to have the Cruiserweight Classic. Raw has 3 picks tonight for every 2 picks that SmackDown has. It seemed like SmackDown was fucking shafted in this draft. It really seemed like SmackDown was given the fucking short change in this draft. I thought they wanted to at least make the rosters even for both shows so that they could be equal entities going into Monday and then Tuesday. Seems like Monday Night Raw is going to still be the packed show, the loaded show, which is the case, and it should be the case. But if you want SmackDown to at least compete, you gotta fucking give them a bone. SmackDown has Dean Ambrose, which I'm surprised about. I thought they were gonna have all 3 Shield guys on the same show. They drafted the WWE Champion as of tonight. Dean Ambrose beat Seth Rollins in the main event tonight for the WWE Championship clean with a Dirty Deeds. I don't think that's going to end up happening at Battleground. I think Seth Rollins is going to end up pinning Roman Reigns, and I think Dean Ambrose is going to get shafted, and I think Dean Ambrose is going to make it a point to introduce another championship on SmackDown, and that's the way that's going to be introduced. Something's going to happen at Battleground where Roman Reigns is pinned by Seth Rollins. Something fucking fishy is going to happen. Something screwy is going to happen. Rollins is going to pin Reigns. Ambrose is going to be the one not pinned, so he's not legit going to lose the title. He wasn't beaten for the title. His shoulders weren't pinned to the mat, and that's going to be the introduction for a SmackDown championship. That's just the way I see it. Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, Cena and Orton on the same show. Be careful with that one. Holy shit. Bray Wyatt, Becky Lynch, The Miz. So that makes the Intercontinental Champion and the WWE Champion as of right now on SmackDown. Baron Corbin, American Alpha, Dolph Ziggler, Natalya, Alberto Del Rio, The Usos, Kane. Don't know why Kane and Big Show were drafted. Draft them to the fucking unemployment line. They are fucking awful. Naomi, The Ascension, Kalisto. People were asking me, JD, what do you think about Kalisto? Don't you think he would have thrived in the Cruiserweight division? Yes. Sin Cara more so. Because if you have Sin Cara on SmackDown where he's literally going to get lost in the shuffle again and it's not going to do anything for his career, at least being on Monday Night Raw and the introduction of the Cruiserweights on Monday Night Raw at least gives him a division in which he can thrive in. Kalisto is a little bit more flexible. He's a little bit more usable in other areas besides just being a Cruiserweight. So I don't mind that move at all. Kalisto goes to SmackDown. Zack Ryder goes to SmackDown, which I like. Apollo Crews, Alexa Bliss is on SmackDown. Breezango, Eva Marie is on SmackDown. So this is what this means every Tuesday night. For at least one segment, each and every fucking Tuesday night on SmackDown, there will at least be one Get Off My TV segment every Tuesday. So you have that to look forward to. Word of warning. At least one bathroom break, one Get Off My TV moment, one Get Off My TV tweet every Tuesday night. Expect it. Eva Marie should have been drafted to any brand. She should have been drafted to the unemployment line and then sign a contract with fucking Brazzers or Pornhub or fucking Bangbus.com. One of the 3 she would have fucking excelled in. Not on SmackDown. Vaudevillains, Eric Rowan. Don't know why they broke up the Wyatt family. I just don't understand it. Mojo Rawley. This is a surprise for SmackDown and a surprise coming up from NXT. I like this move simply because Zack Ryder is on the same brand. It gives them the versatility of not only using Zack Ryder as a singles guy when they want to, but now I think they're going to utilize Mojo Rawley in a role that he is definitely suited better for, and that's a tag team with Zack Ryder, and the Hype Bros will be on SmackDown. That's just the way I would do it. But they do have the flexibility there of Zack Ryder doing things on his own. So I don't think Zack Ryder is going to come out of Battleground the new U.S. champion. I think he's definitely going to settle into a role as a tag team guy with Mojo Rawley. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him up. And then Carmella rounds out the final draft pick for SmackDown. And she will be in the women's division. And again, we don't know what's going to happen with the women's division. We don't know if they're going to be floating between both brands or if the championship's going to be floating between both brands. We don't know if the tag team championships are going to be floating between 2 brands. Lita mentioned on the panel for the SmackDown draft or SmackDown Live panel during the draft that the women are going to be floating between both Raw and SmackDown. This has not been confirmed by WWE.com. It has not been confirmed by WWE. It was merely thrown out there and something Lita said. The American Alpha said the same thing when they were interviewed down at the Performance Center about their thoughts about being brought up to the main roster and being drafted to SmackDown. They said that they want to bring the tag team titles back to SmackDown. So that is nothing more than a subtle hint, not confirmation, that the tag team titles are going to be floating between both Raw and SmackDown. We need confirmation about what is going to happen with both of those titles. Everything as far as the U.S. title and the Intercontinental Championship and the WWE Championship will be answered at Battleground when that pay-per-view is concluded. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but I can definitely make some predictions, which I will on Friday, and there's still a lot of questions that need answers. Definitely. This draft was merely the beginning. I do not like the way WWE went about it. I do not like the way WWE crammed everything into 2 hours. I don't like the format. If WWE wants this draft to be taken seriously on a yearly basis, just like they do in the MLB, the NHL, the fucking NFL, the NBA, it needs to be a half-a-day process. You're not going to cram everything into fucking 2 hours and then give us another half an hour on the WWE Network. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And there's one thing, after reading off this entire fucking draft and who was drafted to both Raw and SmackDown, it really goes to show you that there really is a lack of star power in WWE, that they have failed to create new stars outside of the fucking part-timers like Lesnar and guys like John Cena who have already been established, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns. Those are established stars for their new era. Everybody else is not established. Everybody else is not established. AJ Styles, you could say, is established. Everybody else is not established. And it really goes to show you that WWE has not created any superstars that give you that holy shit wow factor. They haven't. And that's the truth. And it really goes to show you how thin the WWE roster is, especially now after splitting up the fucking rosters and creating two separate rosters for both Raw and SmackDown. A draft was not necessary. A draft was not necessary. Good creative writing to get everybody involved is fucking necessary. A draft was not necessary. Tonight goes to show you that everything that they did was unnecessary. Creative writing and a good creative team is what they need. Not a splitting of the rosters, not a draft, none of that. A good creative team, and they need to make Raw the fucking A show. They needed to rebuild Monday Night Raw and make SmackDown Live. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. This unorganized mess, all of this took place simply to show you and me and everybody else watching the WWE product that Monday Night Raw needed a freshen up. It needed to be shaken up. It needed a new look. It needed a new take on life. That's all it was. This was an excuse to shake the foundations slightly of Monday Night Raw, while keeping SmackDown, which was already the B show, the B show. That's it. I can't put it any other way for you. Monday Night Raw, out of this draft, or this draft for Monday Night Raw, it was an excuse to make or shake Monday Night Raw and the foundations of Monday Night Raw. This was not made to, this draft was not put in place, and it didn't take place tonight to make SmackDown look better. I think SmackDown looks worse, if you ask me. I think SmackDown looks worse coming out of this draft. SmackDown was supposed to be on even playing field with Monday Night Raw. They are still the B show, and for better or worse, will be the B show going into 2016. Monday Night Raw, you thought Vince McMahon was going to let Monday Night Raw be overtaken by SmackDown and Daniel Bryan? Give me a break. That's what it goes to show you. That's my thoughts coming out of the fucking draft. As far as what happened on the show tonight, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Everything that happened as far as matches on this show mean nothing. There's no reason for me to go over anything. The questions that we want answered are going to happen on Sunday. That's what we need to look forward to. What's happening with the WWE Championship? Where's that going? What's happening with the Intercontinental Championship? What brand is that going to be an exclusive? U.S. Championship. Which brand is going to have that exclusive title? What's happening with the Women's Championship? What's happening with the Tag Team Championship? We don't know. We don't know. At all. At all. And if you really want to bring in a new era, get SmackDown a new fucking stage and some new theme music. Monday Night Raw, the same thing. If I do not see change, I am not fucking signaling in a new era. They are not issuing a new era to the WWE Universe. Things need to change. This draft was made to shake things up and change. I see no change as of yet. Until I see change to every fucking facet and aspect of WWE, this is not a new era. I need announcers to be switched around. I need sets. I need new theme music. We already got the fucking rosters, which look dilapidated as fuck and uneven. Unorganized fucking mess. We got fucking championships where we don't know where they're going. What's the point? What was the point of tonight? Everybody was excited. I was excited. You were excited. And what do we get? A typical fucking WWE show with us hanging our heads in fucking disappointment. That's all we got. That's all we got. So Battleground is the last fucking stop before SummerSlam. Battleground is the last stop before the full reset of this company and this roster takes place starting on Monday Night Raw. The one thing I'm looking forward to in the next coming week is how Finn Balor is going to be introduced on Monday Night Raw and the reception that Roman Reigns is going to receive upon coming back from his suspension at Battleground. Those are my thoughts on the draft. Once I get better, I will definitely go more in depth about everything because right now I'm fucking clouded. My throat is fucking killing me. I'm lucky I got through this review. But thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you're thinking about the draft and everything that has come out of Worcester, Massachusetts with this WWE draft. Are you pleased or are you, as always, underwhelmed and disappointed with WWE? I'm JD. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you, hopefully, feeling better on Off the Script, episode 127. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Have a good night.